What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the free rig. Now this is an interesting little setup that kind of combines a drop shot with a finesse Carolina rig, mojo rig with an unpegged Texas rig. It's something just a little bit different. It really works, and it's easy for a beginner or an advanced somebody looking to try something a little bit different. It kind of works for everyone. So as with all my how-to vids, we're going to take an up-close look at how to rig this and some of the plastics I fish on it, some examples of gear that I use to fish this on, and lastly, we'll get out on the water and test this. I've got some footage from earlier in the year putting this baby to work, and it absolutely crushed. So enough yapping, let's take a closer look. Starting with the rig, let me tell you that this is one of the simplest rigs out there, which is what makes it really good for beginners. It's just a hook and a weight. Put your plastic on there, and that's literally all there is to the free rig. Now, what makes this a little bit different and kind of point out some of the differences here is first you've got a weight. Very reminiscent of a drop shot weight, but you can see on the top here, instead of this being some sort of closed deal, it's a little round circle, a little round eye, which allows this weight to slide freely, hence the name free rig. That's what makes it so easy to fish. Is it's not like a drop shot where you have to, you're tying the hook up here in the middle, so you have to figure out how long do I want my leader, get that all tied on there, get a good, drop shot weight, something like this. This is the difference between a drop shot weight, and this will not work. You can't just run your line through there and allow this to slide up and down. These are going to catch, so you don't want to use a drop shot weight like that. You want to use a weight like this, a free rig weight, or some people just call these a drop shot weight, and then at the bottom they just tie directly to it. So whatever it is, you want these type of weights that have the little round eye. You can get these kind of teardrop shape. You can get the, the little round ball ones, whatever you want. This is just kind of what I've been using, has worked pretty well around most stuff. And with this being weedless, you're not caught up like I would a drop shot where it tends to wrap and stuff like that. This type of weight with this little round deal allows this to kind of fall first. That's one question I get is, couldn't you just throw an unpegged Texas rig? Well, I happen to have a weight there. Pretend this free rig weight wasn't here. With a worm weight like this, an unpegged Texas rig, I feel like the whole, this whole setup tends to just come down all at once. And your hook is kind of here, it just kind of chases it, kind of drops down like a missile. With the free rig weight, I feel like this tends to drop down straight and kind of leave the plastic behind. Even if you do, hop this toward the bottom, because, that's how I'm working, I'm just kind of popping it on the bottom. Even when you pop this, the weight kind of, hits the bottom, and this back part here with the hook kind of floats up kind of back behind it. So it always looks like it's chasing it. It's a very natural look to it back here where it can, swim. And as opposed to a Texas rig, pegged or unpegged, especially pegged, this is all dropping in one. So you're always moving this, the weight and everything all together. I have went with finesse. Basically fishing this as a finesse option. You talk to somebody like my buddy Randy. He's fished it with a bigger 4/0 hook, flipping baits, essentially like a Texas rig, and he's had luck with it that way. For me, I've liked going to stuff like this. So this is a size 1, these BKK Chimera hooks. Absolutely love these. They're a stout little hook. You don't have to worry about bending these out. Something like this, the Basilisk, which is more of like a worm hook. So if you're fishing like a robo worm or something like that, or if you want to go real finesse like on BFS or an ultralight, Paul over at the Aggressively Average Anglers got me turned on to these little hyper minis, or the Hobbits. The Hobbits are even a thinner wire than this. These decoy hyper minis are just a little bit thicker, which is what I liked for fishing on a Baitcaster. But the Hobbit ones, I think they're decoy, maybe they're owner. Again, I'll leave it all linked below, but they're a finer wire than this. So really, this is it. Your weight, your hook, and then you pick a plastic. Oh, and this, if you're looking for a good little weight tackle box deal, this is from Spro. And this thing has been perfect for all my little weights. You could put your hooks in here, like if you were doing these little finesse hooks, throw them in there. Your jig head, so if you got like a little BFS pack, or you just want something with a few weights and hooks for the day, something like this is awesome. It's got these little doors and compartments that you can kind of change. So very good little minimal setup deal there. Now for the plastics, I like something that has a float to it. The whole kind of appeal to this is once it hits the bottom, like I said, your weight will kind of go down, the hook's kind of chasing it. Something that floats allows this to kind of stand up off the bottom and have movement. If it's something that just sinks, it's going to sit there. Not saying that that doesn't work, because I use these missile bait ones don't float. They're kind of just neutrally buoyant. And I also use these from X Zone. These, or these little craws, which you're going to see in action later. Just like that. So I've got my little finesse Texas rigged weedless plastic with this weight in front of it. This falls down, your plastic follows it, and these float. So once this hits the bottom, the little claws on this dude are floating. Had really good luck with that. You're going to see more of this footage later at the end. Also through these, you saw this in a video earlier this year. This is the micro D-bomb from Missile Baits. Actually, a couple videos I was throwing this. You can see the size of these. Just little 2.5 inch, 2 3/4 baits. You can see my finger there compared to a Debo finger. 2.5, 2 3/4 inches. Little tiny plastics like this. A bunch of other different things. If you missed my unboxing, Zoom has the new micro speed craws, so something like this, just a little guy. Yamamoto has these new things, the covert craw, just a little 2.5 inch plastic. I don't know for sure if these float or not, but it's a really neat looking little plastic, kind of, you know, finesse appendages there. You could go with like a little paddle tail, also from X Zone, this little Stealth Invader, just a real small little finesse paddle tail on the back of it. You know, if they're really eating bait fish or like baby bluegill, something like this would be great. Next up, let's talk about some of the gear that I fished this on. This is actually still rigged up from the last time that I used this. Just to give you a better look, here's one of those little Hobbit hooks on this. You can see real finesse, tiny hook there, worked absolutely perfect with these little micro D-bombs. And I was using a 1/16 ounce weight. These were some that I got off of Bait Finesse Empire. NACO, I think was the brand, something like that, but just a real little finesse deal. And I try to go with as light a weight as I can get away with, same way I would with like a NED rig or something. Enough where I'm not heavy enough and getting stuck, you know, in all the rocks. I can keep bottom contact, but you know, if there's wind or current, or if I'm fishing a little deeper, you might have to go a little bit heavier to, you know, to get it down there and keep it on the bottom to where you can feel it. But all that works in conjunction with your setup. If you've got a super stiff setup, and you're trying to fish, you know, a real light, you know, rig like this, it can make it tough. So for me, a great all-around budget. You have seen this multiple times, probably no surprise. The Daiwa Aerodex rod, like a $50 rod, and I have really liked this reel, the Daiwa Regal. Something also like the Daiwa Revros. They're both very similar. I don't know what the exact difference is, but like a 2500 size or 2000 size is perfect for this. This one is the 2500 size, perfect for that. You don't have to get anything crazy. This I was lastly fishing my Ned rig on. You could go something a little bit more fancy if you really want, you know, sensitivity, or a finesse rig is something that you fish a ton. You're like, I fish Ned rigs, drop shots. Maybe you spend a little bit more money, something like this. The Daiwa Tatula, this is the Elite, these gray rods. I really like these. This is the 7.3 shaky head, small swim bait drop shot. It's a medium power with a little bit faster tip. So if you like something where it's not as spongy, you want a little bit more of a crisp feel if you're working over rocks and stuff, a little bit faster rod like that is great. The Aerodex rods do tend to run a little soft, but I didn't have any problems fishing something like this on it. Highly recommend these. I think for the money, one of the best budget rods out there. For line, I like to keep it light on my finesse stuff. So 10 pound, this is some P-line TCB braids, a little bit faded out now. Also their Endurex braid, which is the new stuff that does not fade, that I have on this one has been absolutely great. This is a little bit bigger setup, I think 12 pound or 15, whatever the next step up was. Pick your favorite braid, 10 pound on finesse. If you're going like an ultralight, you know, you might want to step down to 8 or 6, something like that, that matches the style of fishing that you're doing. You know, you're throwing the little, you know, tiny Hobbit hooks with the little micro deal 16th. You know, maybe you want some 8 pound braid, something like that. So now that we went over all of this, let's get out on the water and put this into action. Had a bite, took me way down into the rocks and broke me off. There's a good little point here, and there's rocks that kind of come out. So I've just kind of anchored up on the side over here. Had a few fish grab at it. There's one. Get out of them rocks, fool. Okay. Free rig. It's such a good rig. Whoa. Little finesse free rig. Okay. Little pounder on the free rig. Sun has come up. He was not going anywhere. There we go. A little pounder. All right, another one on the free rig. Is this better than a Texas rig? Some people have been saying that.
Some people have said, yeah, this replaces the Texas rig for them. That's a good little chunk right there. Gosh, look at that belly. Holy smokes. Well, this dude found all the foods. That belly, my guy. Look at that dude. Holy cow. That, my friends, is what we call a tubby dink. Whoa. Vicious little guy. Another one. I don't know if I got the others. I caught two there and I think my camera was off. That is just a dink. But this is the free rig with that new little stealth craw deal from X Zone. Really liking this thing. Another. Hey, there we go. A little bit better size. See, that's another one of those tubby dinks. Ooh, another good one over here. Where are you going, sir? Oh, yeah, not a bad fish. Compared to what I was catching there for a minute. There we go. A little over a pound. My, is this better? You in something? Must have been down in some wood or something. Smacked my daggum GoPro and everything. Oh. He could be a little better. He's pulling like he's better. Are you better? There's one. Hey. Free rig in the rocks. Well, it's definitely a catching the fish. Is this? Could it be better than a Ned rig? I don't know. We gotta do some more testing here. Another. Oh. Is it better than a Ned rig? I don't know. I mean, you get the freedom of, you know, like this little mojo rig, little, you know, micro Carolina rig type thing. With that, your weight's moving. This is just up here doing its own free thing. So far, it has been really good at keeping out of snags and stuff too. Let's get up in these rocks more, see how it does without getting snagged. Now watch, first cast now it'll just get caught and break off and I'll look like an idiot. Ooh. That's a fish. I mean, I still look like an idiot, but at least I caught a fish on that one. See, and it's nice because you see that weight just swing up there, swings up out of the way. I don't know. It's a pretty darn good rig. Maybe you want something a little bit different to drag on the bottom instead of a Texas rig, because even those, dragging those on the bottom with the bullet weight, you can get hung up pretty easy. With this mix of like drop shotty weight, not really getting hung up, your lure is, here's another one swimming out at me. Your lure is exposed, so you're not worrying about the wood and stuff. With your weight being a little bit different, you're not worried about the rocks. Gosh, he had just barely ate that and it was already way down there. There we go. These guys, we are finding the smaller ones now, but again, it's one of those finesse days, tough conditions like this. I mean, look up, not a single cloud in the sky. At least we do have wind. Wind always helps. I know some people hate fishing in it, but when it comes to conditions, the wind is your friend, usually.
All right, fishing friends, there you have it. Super simple rig. The little free rig has been one that is certainly going to be in my rotation. To me, it's not one of those fad things of, oh, you see one YouTube video on it. Oh, the next biggest thing. Some YouTube person does a video on it. It's like, hey, never seen you ever fish that since the video. Cool. Thanks for that helpful information. This is something that I've fished multiple times this year, had a lot of success with it, and it's going to work for me going forward as just another option. A little bit different than the Ned rig. You know, it's not all one piece that just sits on the bottom. A little bit different from your drop shot. You know, it's not fixed in one place. So it's kind of got this weird little niche cool spot for me. I really like it. Comment below and let me know if this is something you think you're going to use. If you've already used it, comment below and let me know what you think of it. I love when people, you know, talk back and forth down below to help each other out. If you use a different setup or you found there's a crazy plastic or something that you use, let me know below. That always helps out. Now, today's subscribe fishing friend, we're going with Mr. Redbeard. Find wood, pitch to wood. This was on my recent crankbait video that I just did. Actually, the last video, throwing that little flat side. Fun day on that. But he said, another nice day on the water. Thanks for taking us along, Debo. Well, Redbeard, thanks for watching and commenting. Thank you to everybody else. I say it every video and I truly mean it. Thanks for watching. Continue to support my ugly mug down here in my basement making videos. I love y'all. Thank you. I got to edit. So till next time.